There are no accidents in the unfolding of the real. Every leaf that falls, every ant that crosses your path, every crack in the wall, all of it is a verse in the sacred book of existence. Not written with ink, but with being itself. Ibn Arabi called the world a veil that reveals, a paradox of presence and concealment. He taught that God speaks not only through scripture, but through the ordinary, through what the ego calls small, random, or irrelevant. So what does it mean when ants appear in your home? The mystic does not swat them away and call it a nuisance. He listens. In the silent movement of their bodies, in their sudden gatherings, in their uninvited arrivals, there is something being whispered, not by the ant, but by the one who sent it. Because everything is a messenger, and the closer you are to your soul, the more obvious this becomes. To the untrained mind, an ant is an insect. To the awakened heart, it may be a question, a reminder, or even an answer. In the teachings of Ibn Arabi, God is not distant. He is not a being who intervenes only on grand occasions. He is Al-Qarib, the near. And his nearness is not abstract. It is woven into every moment of your existence. When ants begin appearing in your space, especially in ways that feel sudden or persistent, the mystic asks, what are they showing me about my state? Are they pointing to neglect, to hidden sweetness left uncovered, to broken boundaries, spiritual or physical? Ibn Arabi writes that the outer reflects the inner, that your physical space mirrors your spiritual one. And so, the arrival of ants is not merely a domestic issue. It can be a signal that something in your life has gone unattended, that something small has grown large through silence, that something sacred is being stirred from within. Mystics are trained to read reality like a text, and in that reading, even ants can become verses. It's not superstition, it's attention. And attention, Ibn Arabi tells us, is a form of worship. There is a story in the mystical tradition. A man, lost in despair, sat weeping on the floor of his empty home. No prayers helped, no words brought comfort. But then, from the crack in his wall, he saw a single ant carry a crumb 10 times its size. It struggled, stumbled, but never stopped. Something shifted. Not in the world, but in him. That small act, unseen by most, dismissed by many, became a divine message delivered in silence. Ibn Arabi taught that God reveals his names through creation, not just in stars and oceans, but in the mundane. He is Al-Hakim, the wise, and wisdom hides in what we overlook. He is Al-Sabur, the patient, and patience lives in the crawling of ants. So when you see them, don't just react. Reflect. What name of God might be appearing before you? What forgotten quality within you is being mirrored by their movement? Mysticism isn't about escaping the world. It's about seeing the world as it truly is, radiant with meaning. There is something strange about how signs appear. They rarely come when we expect them. They arrive when we are tired, distracted, uncertain. And that is what makes them sacred, because a true sign doesn't wait for your readiness. It meets you where you are, messy, questioning, half awake. It breaks through your plans. It interrupts your rhythm, not to punish, but to awaken. This is why Ibn Arabi says, the real does not wait for your permission to reveal itself. So if the ants came while you were busy, while you were thinking about work or scrolling through noise, they may be God's way of tapping on your shoulder, not with a shout, but with a whisper too quiet to hear with the ears. And isn't that how most transformation begins? Not in thunder, but in the quiet inconvenience that keeps returning until we finally say, yes. I see you. This is the hidden mercy of small things. They humble us, they slow us, and they remind us that attention is the doorway to revelation. Imagine your life as a house. Its rooms are your thoughts, its foundation, your beliefs, its walls, your boundaries, and its door, your willingness to let the divine in. When ants show up, uninvited and determined, the mystic doesn't reach for poison. He asks, "What threshold have I left unguarded?" Perhaps you've been too open to noise, to distraction, to empty consumption. Perhaps something sacred in you has been unattended, and the ants are pointing to that neglect. Ibn Arabi wrote of the states of the self, maqamat al-nafs, evolving stations of the soul. He believed the world outside always reflects the stage you are in within. So ants may appear when you are being asked to clean, to clarify, to return to vigilance. They may be whispering, "Build your house again," not just with stone, but with intention, not just with structure, but with remembrance. Because in a world this alive, even the smallest guest might be carrying a divine instruction. The mystic's gift is not in seeing what others cannot. It is in taking what others dismiss and seeing God in it. Ibn Arabi teaches that the world is full of signs, but they are not loud. They require the silence of the heart, the stillness of presence. So when ants appear, what might God be calling you to? Maybe He's inviting you to humility, to remember that greatness is not in size, but in purpose. Maybe He's reminding you of interconnection, that no soul stands alone, and even the smallest plays its part. Or maybe He's just saying, pay attention, because the spiritual path is not found only in retreats, in sacred texts, in faraway lands. Sometimes it begins at your kitchen sink, with a trail of ants, and a question whispered not in your ears, but in your soul. So the next time ants enter your space, pause. Don't rush to erase the sign. Don't rush to fix the surface. Instead, listen, not with your mind, but with the quiet space behind it. Not to the ants, but to the one who never stops speaking through all things. Ibn Arabi reminds us that every appearance is a disclosure of the divine, and that God hides not in distance, but in plain sight, waiting for hearts that see. Perhaps the ants are not visitors at all. Perhaps they are mirrors, invitations, prayers in motion. And perhaps this moment is not a disruption, but the exact doorway your soul has been waiting for. Sometimes, the smallest steps, the quietest signs lead to the loudest awakenings. If something in this message stirred you, not just in thought, but in silence, then let this be your sign. Subscribe to Heart's Whisper and stay close to the voices that don't shout, but still change everything.